planes have landed. Please be seated. Good afternoon and welcome to Cardiff and St David's Hall and the magnificent public address system. Prynhawn da croeso I Gaerdydd a'r Neuadd Dewi Sant. My name is Neil Kinnock. I have the great honour of being president of this university, and it's my extreme pleasure to welcome you here this afternoon to this graduation ceremony, or congregation as it's more properly called. I offer a particularly warm greeting to parents and partners and others whose love and support has made a direct contribution, sometimes extremely substantial, to the success of the people whose graduation we are celebrating today. I also, of course, offer my personal congratulations to the people who are graduating. I rejoice in your achievement, and I know you'll be confident that the qualification that you've earned here in Cardiff is respected not only in the United Kingdom, but across the world. Obviously, that reputation has been built over many years, and it was recently and very strongly endorsed by the United Kingdom Higher Education Quality Assurance Agency, whose job it is to assess and to comment on teaching standards in universities. To maintain those attributes, the university continues to invest in advances in learning provision. The £16 million commitment to new purpose-built premises for the School of Optometry and Vision Sciences, the £3.5 million now being invested in the innovative high-speed computer network are just two of several examples of that dedication to increased standards and indeed to excellence being sustained in the future. Such developments, of course, also reinforce Cardiff's standing as one of Britain's foremost research-led universities. We are now officially ranked 7th out of 106 institutions in the United Kingdom for the quality of the research done in this university, and further progress is in real prospect, largely because of the merger. Last autumn, an historic event, the merger between the University of Cardiff and the University of Wales College of Medicine. That marriage has already proved to be fruitful because the university now has the size and the span of teaching and research expertise that makes it truly a world-class institution of learning. Of course, the most important and perhaps the clearest testimony to our sustained vitality comes from the fact that while the average rise in applications for university places in the United Kingdom this year was 9%, applications for places to study for degrees in Cardiff rose by 16%. And in the case of the medical school, whilst applications across the UK kept pace with the general average, applications to study for medicine in our university rose by 30%. Maybe I should enter an apology for such patent boasting, but frankly, any apology from me, at least on this subject, would be somewhat half-hearted. If the president of a university can't blow the trumpet on a day like this, when there is so much objectively to celebrate, it's difficult to know when pride can be proclaimed. And if I don't proclaim it, frankly, I would burst. So it's with a sense of relief that I discharge myself of this bragging. Modesty was never one of my strongest characteristics in any case. And in any case, I would claim modifying modesty, because even in this recitation I haven't even mentioned the prizes, the awards, the other distinctions won by our academic staff, or the designated centres of international excellence that we now have in Cardiff University, or, of course, most importantly, the academic, the sporting and the cultural achievements of our students. All these and many other attainments worthy of acclaim give proof, objective proof, of prowess, proof of advancing standards of opportunity, of excellence, of innovation, and of Cardiff's commitment to nurturing the potential of those who come here to study from all parts and all cultures of the world, who shape and apply their talents, both for their own fulfilment, naturally, that's essential, and to make a more effective contribution to the well-being of humanity. Indeed, it's that which is the greatest source of satisfaction to the university generally and to the academic staff in particular, and obviously it's what we celebrate today at this congregation. So on that subject, I draw your attention to the fact that the procedures and the words relating to the various stages of the ceremony are printed in your programme under the appropriate headings, and as you'll see, the congregation will begin with the reading of the graduation proclamation in Welsh and in English by Miss Angharad Wyn George. Following that, the University Director, Dr. Christopher Turner, will read the authorisation for the admission of graduates to degrees and will then proceed to admit you to your degree. Graduates will be presented by their head of school, pro-vice-chancellor or professor and be admitted to their degrees by the provost of the College of Humanities and Sciences, Professor Hayden Ellis. After that, Dr. Turner will ask all graduates to stand, and you'll be greeted by myself and by the acting warden of the Guild of Graduates, Mr. Ken Richards. In the final part of this congregation, the auditor of our university, Dr. David Skilton, will introduce the Reverend Dr. Lord Griffiths for the award of Honorary Fellowship of Cardiff University in recognition of his distinguished achievements in the promotion of humane values and of understanding between peoples and cultures. During the proceedings, I'd be very much obliged if you'd applaud only after Professor Ellis has admitted each group of graduates to their degrees, not as each individual crosses the stage. Now, I know that such restraint can be very difficult in the circumstances of a celebration like this, but time constraints and our concern for the welfare of everybody's hands. We don't want to see anybody with blood on their palms in the course of the afternoon. So it plainly is necessary for us to restrain our applause until each group has been admitted to their degrees. Before I conclude, I have to intone the modern liturgy. Please turn off all mobile phones. Babies crying and even the odd sob of ecstasy from a proud parent, perfectly natural accompaniment and very welcome on an occasion like this, but telephone tones are neither natural nor welcome, so please turn it off. We had a little rendition of Scheherazade right at the beginning of the ceremony at 1:30 this afternoon. There was mortifying embarrassment. I wouldn't want to put anybody through that, no matter how melodic their telephone tones are. I'm grateful to everyone for their attention, and I hope you all greatly enjoy the ceremony.
Gorau awen gwirionedd. Bydded hysbys i aelodau'r Brifysgol ac i bawb sydd yn bresennol, y cynhelir heddiw y 30 o fis Gorffennaf 2005 yma yn Ninas Caerdydd, gynulliad awdurdodedig Prifysgol Cymru i dderbyn i'w priodol raddau bersonau da i gair, sydd trwy yfrydiaeth yn y Brifysgol a thrwy ddisg, medr a dyfalbarhad wedi teilyngu'r cyfryw raddau yn unol ag ordiniannau'r Brifysgol. Gyda phob gweddi a dymuniad ar iddynt fwynhau iechyd a hir hoedl i wasanaethu eu hoes a'u cenedl dan fendith y nef. Yna do leini a gyfyd mewn tywyllwch, ath dywyllwch a fydd fel hanner dydd, a rhai a fyddant ohono ti a adeiladant yr hen ddiffeithleoedd. Gorau awen gwirionedd. The best inspiration is truth. Be it known to members of the University and to all here present that an authorised congregation of the University of Wales is being held here in the city of Cardiff on the 13th of July 2005 to admit to their appropriate degrees worthy persons who have, through study at the University and through learning, ability and perseverance, been deemed worthy of such degrees in accordance with the ordinances of the University, in the hope that they may be given health and long life to serve their generation and their country under the blessing of heaven. Then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy darkness be as the noonday, and they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places.
Bydded hysbys i aelodau'r Brifysgol ac i bawb sydd yn presennol fod y Brifysgol wedi rhoddi'r awdurdod i'r athro Hayden Ellis i dderbyn i'w graddau fyfyrwyr Prifysgol Caerdydd a enillodd raddau yn unol a rheolau'r Prifysgol. Gwelir enwau'r rhai a gellu a'i derbyn i'w graddau yn y cynulliad hwn yn y rhestrau printiedig sydd wedi ei dosbarthu. Let it be known to members of the University and to all who are present that the University has granted authority to Professor Hayden Ellis to admit to their degrees students of Cardiff University who have qualified for degrees according to the regulations of the University. The names of those who may be admitted to their degrees in this congregation are to be seen on the printed lists that have been distributed. Anrhydeddus isganghellol, cyflwynir gan yr athro Terry Marsden, disgyblion o'n Prifysgol ni a enillodd radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth.
I, Professor Terry Marsden, present for the degree of Bachelor of Science. David James Addison. Hannah Elizabeth Beck. Abigail Sarah Boyers. Hei Young Ringo Chan. Irene Hoyan Chu. Ruth Elizabeth Cooper. Brian Ronald Davis. Rhiannon Louisa Devereaux. Isabel Emily Farman. Marlene Caldera Ferreira. Joanne Louise Golding. Alexander James Harrison. Alan Charles Jones. Jonathan Edward Lane. Rachel Catherine Lister. Joel R. Oliver Marshall, Ian David Platt, Claire Michelle Pugh, Craig Dean Raybould, Ocean Roberts, Peter John Roberts, Matthew Sawyer, Stephen Peter Smith, Thomas Bruce Tanner, and Simon Frank Tatler.
Nanda, good afternoon. At this point in the ceremony, and at other equivalent times, I will speak in Welsh to admit groups of graduands. Each degree has a formula of admission which, when translated, means, by the authority conferred upon me by the university, I admit you to the degree, which I will then name, and to all the privileges of that degree. Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddir iedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chi I radd bagler mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Alistair James Thornton, James Thomas White, Matthew Lloyd Williams, Claire Elizabeth Baker, Peter James Beer, David Richard Bell, Susan Calvert, Catherine Ruth Cordwell, David Lawrence Cranmer, Daniel Llewellyn Davis, Gemma Delves, Thomas William Fairbrother, Eleanor Louise Griffiths, Howard Hardy King, Heleth Fleur Hughes, Adrian Hunter, Lee David James, Rachel Jane Jenkins, Liam David Jones, Rhiann Hilary Jones, and Anna Louise Llewellyn.
Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Andrew McCourt, Lewis George McGann, Jonathan David Miller, Paul Lee Nichols, Rachel Christine Nix, Victoria Margaret Pearce, Janine Pomfrey, Davinia Powell, Amy Stewart, Laura Marie Thomas, Rebecca Thomas, Cheryl Tucker, Steffi Louise Uphill, Philip Carrick Trenham Weatherhead, Sarah Williams, Thomas Williams, and Edward Alexander Wrench.
Trwy awdurdod o Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ddreiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Anrhydeddus Is-Ganghellor, cyflwynir gan yr athro Martin Cayman, disgyblion o'n prifysgol ni a enillodd radd baglor yn y celfyddydau.
Professor Martin Cayman, present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Brendan John Appleby. Susie Armitage. Alaki Shalene Asiga. Jessica Madeleine Ayres. Catherine Ann Munro Boot. David Stephen Boston. Sarah Louise Bowden. Sally Louise Brudding. Naomi Esther Clacy. Zoe Cowlishaw. Claire Marie Crozier. Lindsay Nicola Davis. Beatrice Jane Dixon. Eleanor Dixon. Sarah Antoinette Dunn. Caroline Sarah Ellis. Elizabeth Helen Goulton. Nadia Graham. Timothy Grimaldi. Amy Victoria Hall. Christopher John Jenkins. Simon Johns. Rachel Ann Jones. Kana Kalaji. And Ellen Louise Kelt.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I ni, derbyniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Christina Lung. Laura Kate Nelson. Liam Nichols. Jennifer Elaine Preedy. Sylvie Marie Robinson. Louise Jacqueline Rutter. AOE Sasaki. Benjamin Mark Saunders. Lucy Elizabeth Stokes. Hin Wai To. Philippa Amy Tatiet. Antonia Jane Waterfall. John Paul Leo Williams. Victoria Wong. Samuel James Robert Woods. Lan Yang. Ellen Marie Rowley Temerton Megazon. Jennifer Brown. Elizabeth Scarlett Whittaker. Sean Eleanor Rowlands. Florence May Bill. Alice Jean Bowley. Gareth Joel John. Matthew Edward Lindley.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Christine Nicola Cousins. Chloe Forrester Payton. Joanne Carroll Lowe. Kate Louise Adams. Rachel Brown. Rachel Chadwick. Laura Joanne Chapman. Laura Emily Collins. Priya David. Kate Sarah Francis Davis. Hannah Driscoll. Catherine Rebecca Holt. Sophie Michelle Horton. James Redmond Robert Hunt. Amy Lynn Legg. Astra Christina Llewellyn. John Maggs, Matthew James Moore, Mark Stewart Penman, Naomi Ruth Perry, Ruth Elizabeth Pullin, Ben Roberts, Nicholas Rosenthal, Katie Louise Sanders, and India Beth Sellers.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol, a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniad chwi I radd baglor yna celfyddydau, ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Claudine Madeline Smith, Rebecca Louise Soden, Michaela Shoshana Stallman, Rachel Strong, Michael John Sunderland, Ellen Ann Simmons, Eleanor Taylor, Laura Claire Trotman, Ruth Wolford, Jacqueline Mary White, Katie White, Matthew John Wilkin, Bethany Whittam, Anne Michelle Wright, Ennis Geraint Akpinar, Sarah Bailey, Rebecca Ann Bartley, Sarah Beattie, Rachel Helen Arian Beer, Catherine Sarah Bean, Heidi Elizabeth Birch, Amy Biscoe, Venetia Rose Hermione Boone, Jessica Lucy Boydell, and Catherine Patricia Brett.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniad chwi I radd baglor yna celfyddydau ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Sarah Caroline Brooke, Alison Jane Brown, Gerald Callahan, Adina Vanessa Zilla Campbell, Elsa Chalk, Laura Susan Chamberlain, Victoria Patricia Chandler, Marion Kate Elizabeth Conley, Emily Joan Coots, Pamela Christine Cotter, Hermione Jane Coots, Katrina Jane Zana Davidson, Martin Thomas Davis, Sharon Naomi Davis, Christina Claire Derbyshire, Paul Kenneth William Dickon, Emily Laura Marie Dix, Helen Sophie Dutton, Sarah Louise Edmonds, Catherine Ayres, Suzanne Violet Farrell, Benjamin Thomas Fawkes, Stephen Robert Fishbourne, Jennifer Ann Fletcher, and Joanne Foley.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbyniad chwi I radd baglor yna celfyddydau ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Molly Jane Forbes, Claire Marie Fordyce, Catherine Elizabeth Foster, Jonathan Mark France, Sandra Jane Franklin, Elizabeth Galvin, Emma Louise Garland, Katie Elizabeth Geen, Jennifer Ann George, Victoria Louise Gibbons, Kate Goldsmith, Alexandra Louise Gronow, Lucy Grove, Lucy Catherine Hacker, Lana Leslie Hamilton, Stephanie Claire Hammond, Madeline Hardman, Amelia Faye Harville, Duncan Heaney, Owen Frederick John Hill, Catherine Ann Holsinger, Rachel Cherie Howells, Sophie Elizabeth Hughes, Claire Hunt, and Rhiannon Louise James.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd baglor yna celfyddydau ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Sean Ryan Jeffries. Ruth Jenkins. Roziana Juned. Lucy Ann Kelly. Abigail Kingsbury. Gillian Beth Kirk. Samuel Nibbs. Daniel Joseph Lane. Eleanor Jean Lang. Emma Louise Langley. Emma Lawson. Cara Nicole Lee. Catherine Jane Lee. Sarah Rachel Lisby. Catherine Emma Lynch. Amy Jane McKeldin. Madeline Ruth Elizabeth Mann. Helen Marks. Alice Louise Martin. Kirsty McCaig. Laura McCann. Hannah Elizabeth McCarthy. Kim McCarthy. Natalie Ann McClure. And Craig McQuillan.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbyniad chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl freniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Naomi Jane McLaughlin. Rebecca McMahon. Kate Victoria Millard. Judith Mills. Matthew Ian Morgan. Roger Greg Morgan. Claire Morse Privet. Elizabeth Moss. Claire Evelyn Nestor. Marina Georgette Newth. Rachel Louise O'Toole. Rebecca Lorraine Page. Sarah Parkin. Amy Victoria Parry. Tanya Denise Partridge. Rian Morfith Rathray. Jennifer Rees. Gillian Ann Reynolds. Craig Robin Richards. Avis Modesty Rolfe. Oliver Toby Sandel. Christopher John William Scott. Sarah Saaf. Carly Louise Sharples. And Lauren Elizabeth Shields.
Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Damien Andrew Joseph Silvers. Katie Mayard Sinfield. Emma Catherine Skinner. Alice Victoria Louise Southwood. Rhiannon Jean Spellman. Claire Eleanor Stevens. Laura Kate Stevens. Helen Victoria Stock. Rachel Margaret Sullivan. Rebecca Lorraine Sullivan. William Stuart John Talmage. Sarah Raquel Faye Taylor. Amy Louise Thomas. Rhiannon Elizabeth Thomas. Laura Susan Tovey. Laura Chumelty. Bradley James Turner. Laura Wainwright. Beth Waldegrave. James Owen Watkins. Kate Watson. Rebecca Jane Way. Jessica Kate Webb. And Matthew John Williams.
Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd baglo yn y celfyddydau ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Timothy James Barnett. Thomas John Dumbleton. Matthew Bailey. Rachel Barnes. Rosalind Sarah Brooks. Amy Davison. Sarah Dobbs. David John Doyle. David Andrew Griffiths. Taro S. F. Hayes. Tristan James Hunt. Victoria Louise James. Gwilym Allen Lee. Katie Leek. Aisha Qureshi. Angela Ricciardi. Amy Schroeter, Laura Ann Tansley, Joanne Elizabeth Thomas, Stephanie Dawn Tillman, Thomas Ian Williams, Philippa Louise Curry, Jonathan Matthew Davey, Susan Jane Dora, and Alice East.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol ar ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi, I radd baglor yna celfyddydau, ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Lucy Jane Hutchins, Nicola Jones, Catriona Kennedy, Jonathan Edward Novacek, Natalie Jane Reid, Elizabeth May Petrina Reeves, Andrew Stewart Richardson, Nadia Mandana Samdaliri, Sonia Marie Weber, Sarah Gand, Christopher Francis Lilly, Leigh Pritchard, Lindsay Roberts, Laura Catherine Snell, Donna Susan Beresford, Alan Bracey, Rebecca Carla Hembry, Niall Eugene McVie, Helen Louise Stevens, Hugh Warren, Robin George Wilkinson, Jenna Kate Wilcox, and Timothy Mitchell Woods.
Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi, I radd baglo yna celfyddydau, ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Hilary Kate Shepherd, Thomas William Constant, Christopher Coyle, Catherine Lucy Denning, Annalise Sean Evans, Lindsay Ann Q, Mark William Lester, Daniel Shirley, Catherine Louise Matthias. Marza Clara Ahawind. Katie Elizabeth Ainsworth. Kierwin Joy Brown. Charlotte Louise Cloak. Genevieve Catherine Conquest. Rachel Eddy. David Campbell Espley. Abigail Lee Ferris. Rebecca Gillespie. Emma Jane Harris. Emma Louise Hordle. Maria Louise Hunt. Kate Lovelace Hearn. Emma Louise Jones. And Eliza Carolyn Joyce.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiried wedi mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd baglor yna celfyddydau ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Louise Marie Keane. Rebecca Louise King. Stephanie Helen Knight. Helen Rachel Mabbott. Huma Hamid Malik. Kate Elizabeth Marlowe. Adalberto Nascimento. Victoria Emma Carlton Palethorpe. Alice May Parsons. Kerry Elizabeth Rogers. Gemma Simons. Natalie Jane Slater. Daniel James Smith. Emily Catherine Subden. David Jonathan Webster Gardner. Rachel Ann Williams. Eleanor Wiseman. Lucy Pamela Cook. Sarah Helen Cummins. Katie Mary Thurber. Samuel Dillon Ainsley. Edmund Adam Luca Barber. Rachel Helen Beach. Michael Billington and Emma Braithwaite.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd baglor yna celfyddydau ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Jordan Luke Collier, Andrew Henry Connolly, Sally Heather Cosgrove, Jenny Curtis, Joe William Drennan, Elizabeth Earle, Hannah Jane Edwards, Robert McKinley Foster, Edward James Mark Francis, Samuel Benjamin Thomas Graspy, Lauren Gregory, Kimberly Jean Huggins, Amy Hurst, Matthew Benjamin Jennings, Amy Janine Johnson, Jason Alexander Keach, Edward Marshall Kettle, Daniel Francis Lee, Laura Line, David Edmund Thomas Morris, Jonathan Ollie, Richard James Pitt, Keris Marie Louise Probert, Shan Roberts, and Kathleen Ann Yolanda Ross.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd baglor yna celfyddydau ac I holl ddreiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Lindsay Sue Southwell, Maria Tallis, Rowena Tejido Diaz, David Joseph Thompson, William Turnpenny, Ross Woolsby, Simon Mark Westwood, Roxanne Yeganegi, Suzanne Carroll Ford, Chris Potter, Joseph Richard Goodbrand, Claire Sinnett Hawkins, Colm Anthony Murphy, Catherine Bennett, Margaret Ann Coy, Catherine Elizabeth Nutt, Catherine Lucy Rules, and Rebecca Louise Taylor.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd baglor yna celfyddydau ac I holl ddreiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Anrhydeddus ysganhethlo, cyfloenaf i ti disgwyblion on brifysgol ni a enloth rath athro yn celf I ddadau. I, Professor Nigel Palestanga, present for the degree of Master of Arts, Abraham Callis, Julian Ryle, Helen Clare Connys Lang, Andrew John Higgins, Pashalina Kafatetsi, Somaya Lashcombe, Yanling Su, Alistair Dale Bohm, Louise Ghirlando, Matthew Nicholas Harvey, Sarah Sheena, Verity Joanne Brooks, Susan Margaret Lansdowne, Nicola Suzanne Lloyd, Natalie Robinson, and Nicholas Howard Wilshin.
Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd athro yna celfyddydau ac I holl freiniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Charlotte Rosemary Collard, Rebecca Louise Couch, Amy Dean, James Dibley, Nicola MacLeod, Hannah Leonie Philp, Samuel David Tomlin, Emma Claire Tomlinson, Bethan Whitfield, Sonia Ann Billington, Gareth Andrew Clee, Shona Ann MacDonald, Victoria Campbell, Elizabeth Mary Rosanna Green, Sally Jane Cameron Griffiths, Helia Zanjani Phoenix, Ross Headley,
Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd athro yna celfyddydau ac I holl freiniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Anrydeddus ysgan hethlo, cyfloen afiti disgwyblion on brifysgol ni a enloth rath athrym iawn gwythoniaeth. I, Professor Nigel Palestanga, present for the degree of Master of Science, Walter Philip Costa. Ying Ki Dai. Eric Stimes Eidson. Lauren Candance Embury. Laura Caroline Francis. Owen Webb Francis. Hian Liang Go. Catherine Emma Griffiths. Jinju Hugh. Elaine Catherine Hutchins. Fionn Medi James. Lorraine Kelly. Jonathan Edward Lieberman. Mark Douglas Spurgeon. Suzanne Elizabeth Clark. Catherine Hopes. Stefan Hayden Jones. Julie Ann Nicholas. C. Lap Matthew Chung. Katrina Salvia. Neris Elisa Bundock. Andrew James Charles. James Thomas Hammond. Nobufumi Takeuchi. Sala Al-Sheikh Ali. Deborah Challoner.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd athro mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Shanshan Deng. Daniel John Hammond. Carl Jarvis. Jian Yu Lai. Xin Liu. Mohammed Zaman Shah. Benjamin Brant State. Matthias Stride. Alison Thomas. Nicola Wilkinson. Yingnan Zhao. Yeji Adeke Izijola. C. Ki Lam. Yu Feng Li. Maria Carolina Zapata Cajamarca.
Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd athro mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Anrydeddus is gan hethlo, cyfloen af I ti, disgwyblion on brifysgol ni, a enloth rath, doethi am iawn athroniaeth. I, Professor Nigel Palastanger, present for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Karen Buckley. Dale Dudridge. Karen Ruth Gardner. Keith MacDonald. Timothy Mark Massey. Jean Baptiste Munyand Amutsa. Judith Rose Pryor. Robin Lionel Sims. Andrew Nicholas Thompson. And Lee Yu.
Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf chwi I radd doethir mewn athroniaeth ac I holl freiniau'r radd hon. Congratulations to you.
Rydeddus is gan hethlo, cwrmydoiaf I ti I ra anoddwydd yn ei raglen I dderbyn yn ei habsenoldeb I graddau pyddanysol. I, Professor Nigel Palastanger, present all those who are to receive their degrees in absentia.
Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbyniaf y rhai a nodwyd yn ei habsenoldeb yw graddau perthnasol, ac I holl freiniau graddau hynny.
Awnewch i'r myfarwyr sydd wedi derbyn eich graddau a prynhawn yma, gyd sefyll I dderbyn cyfarchion llywydd y prifysgol a warden urdd y graddedigion. Can I invite all of you who have been admitted to your degrees this afternoon to stand so that you can receive the greetings of the President of the University and the Warden of the Guild of Graduates. Please stand.
boed eich gofal yn wastad dros lwydd ac anrhydydd ein prifysgol a'n gwlad. May your care ever be for the success and good name of our university and our country.
Croeso I Urdd y Graddedigion Prifysgol Cymru. Welcome to the Guild of Graduates of the University of Wales.
Before you sit down, I'm sure that all you very proud graduates would like to join in a tradition, a long-standing tradition at these ceremonies, and that is to pay a very special tribute to your families and your friends, and indeed to the academic staff who have supported you over many years in reaching this point in your career today. Now is your opportunity to turn around to greet them and to say a special thank you to them by giving them all a very big round of applause and to say a very public thank you. Please.
There's nothing like it, is there?
Would you please be seated?
Vice-Chancellor, Lord Griffiths of Buryport, Cardiff graduate and a past president of the Methodist Conference, is one of the foremost communicators of today. He has maintained his connection with Cardiff over the years, holding a research fellowship on graduating and, more recently, being a chaplaincy lecturer here in 1995 and 2002. Earlier, he was a university teacher of English literature. He has been a regular contributor to television and radio, including Radio 4's Thought for the Day. His comment and input has ranged from religious and moral issues to expert comment on the political scene in Haiti, where he spent the years from 1970 to 1974 as a Methodist minister. As a broadcaster, he avoids preaching. As a preacher, he has a reputation which is unsurpassed. He is now Superintendent Minister of Wesley's Chapel, a Canon of St. Paul's Cathedral, and since 2004, a life peer who has taken the Labour whip. He is on the Board of Governors of Christian Aid. He speaks with moral authority on many subjects: social justice, the development of human society, the role of education, and interfaith dialogue. He is also committed to a vision of society in which the arts and humanities play an essential part in a technological age. He rejects the current pessimism about the future of a multicultural Britain. Giving this year's annual Tawney lecture in March, he ended on a rallying call, which we might almost mistake for the excitement of an explorer. In a multicultural society, he concluded, there are people to enjoy, experiences to share, new truths to discover, our unity as members of a single human race to appropriate. If we succeed in addressing these questions and embracing these truths and enjoying our diversity, then and only then can we make a proud boast of having made some progress with the opportunities offered us in our multicultural world. To which we, sir, can only say, hear, hear. Anrhydeddus is ganghellor, caflwyna fi ti y parchedig ddoethir ar glwydd Griffiths o Borthtowen fel camrawd i'r anrhyddedd Prifysgol Caerdydd.
Trwy yr adiadod a roddwyd I mi, gan y cyngor dybyniad di fel cymrawd e anrhyddedd Prifysgol Caerdydd.
Well, my friends, I've heard my obituary, and now I must try to prove that I'm still alive. But I do want to say what an honor it is, but want to say it in a way that isn't reminiscent of an Oscar awards ceremony, where my mother and the cat would be brought into the equation. It is such a long time since I was myself an undergraduate and in this faculty here at Cardiff, the formative time of my life. I came from Llanelli Grammar School, where I was a contemporary of Michael Howard, came here and found myself a contemporary of the president of the university, Neil Kinnock, and the sense of fatalism in me leads me to suppose that I might end my days in a nursing home with Charles Kennedy. This was truly the formative time of my life. They were our salad days. This is where I learned the love of literature in general and poetry in particular. Poetry, the medium best guaranteed to make the direct route into people's hearts and souls. A love and passion that I've kept ever since. And when one day I dispose of my library, which I shall, the poetry books will go with me into my dotage. Many of the books will have been bought whilst I was here in Cardiff. It was here that I debated long and hard. Your president and I were in the union together. I remember indeed us going to Trinity College, Dublin together, where we debated the motion that God wouldn't save the Queen. And I won't tell you which side of the debate we took, but Brendan Byrne and Randolph Churchill were the principal speakers, respectively. It was a great time. I captained the French Society football team. In our historic and epic matches with the history team, which was again graced by the presence of your president, I remember on one occasion shouting to one of my defenders to move out to cover Kinnock because he was moving constantly out to the right. I didn't know then that I would have the gift of prophecy. It was indeed a great time, and I'm just sorry that I'm so autobiographical. An occasion like this raises memories, and I can't forbear from sharing them. It was here that I accepted and embraced faith and learned to justify it and argue for it in a humane and open way, not a closed and fundamentalist way. Well, I'm very honored to share this platform with the heavyweights here behind and alongside me, scions of scholarship, aces of administration, the great and the good. But I'm in no doubt at all that the stars of today are in front of me. I sat there once, but not in this hall. It hadn't then been built. It was at the City Hall in the city centre. And I remember that occasion extremely well. You are the stars, a constellation, in fact, that gleam and twinkle and glitter and blaze abroad, or whatever else stars are supposed to do. It's your day, and I don't want any honour that I receive to detract from the attention that properly falls on you. I must say that not only did I graduate here, but my daughter did. I graduated in this faculty, I've said. Here is the hood that I wore 42 years ago, and which my daughter wore 8 years ago. We sat up there, proud parents on that occasion, before the undergraduates or the graduates greeted their parents in the way you just have. But I thought that just as an act of solidarity with you, I'd bring it. I put it on, in defiance of any notion of sartorial propriety, in contravention of the rules and regulations. But I take it that once one's a fellow, one can pretty much do what one likes. Now, I was told in the letter that offered me this great honour that there were two things I should note. One, that I mustn't speak for longer than 5 minutes. Well, my definition of 5 minutes was modified somewhat by the 5 minutes claimed by the President in his speech at the beginning. And the second thing was that at the end, I was to give back my gown. I'll endeavour to do that very faithfully. One word, it's not for me to give advice, but one word that would express the hopes that I have for you as you go off into whatever life now holds for you. And I've had 3 young people in my family who've been where you are and gone on to do things or not do things or find awkward ways of doing things and eventually end up not doing what they thought they were going to do at all. But the only advice I'd really want to offer is that some of you will undoubtedly make a great success of your lives. Some will make a great deal of money. Some will hold great power and position and status. But the gift that money can't buy is peace. Peace that is beyond and defies rational explanation. The peace of the gentle breeze and of the running water and the profundity of heaven itself. And that would be my wish for you. Peace in your hearts, in your homes, in your communities, and in our world. I've just come here this morning, having left my staff in London, helping others who are offering support to those organising the morgue, where the bodies and remains of those who died in last week's accident are being cared for and will eventually have to be identified. It's a strange old world, and if we can be in touch with the deep reservoirs of peace deep within us, if we can respect people across all our differences of culture and ethnicity, if we can discover the interesting person in the other instead of retract from the other because they're different, I promise you, life will be very much richer. Well, there we are. I mustn't say any more. My 5 minutes, even by the President's definition, is up, and I shall turn into a pumpkin if I go on. So one word to finish, in 3 languages, 5 syllables each time. Congratulations, félicitations, longa verjaardag, and thank you once again.
My Lord Griffiths, there's no danger of you becoming a pumpkin or a vegetable of any description. Of that I'm certain. What you did forget to say, however, is when the History Society was playing and beating the French Society, I retaliated in the comments about my rightward drift by saying, watch Griffiths, he thinks he's God on his side. Oh, damn he has. That was wonderful, and I'm supposed to be the showman, but I will never hold a candle to the theatrical capabilities and the redoubtable sincerity of Leslie Griffiths. As President, I must say one other thing as President. If my 5 minutes felt like 10 minutes, Les, it's because it was 10 minutes, because that's what the President is allowed to have. Thank you very much. I've got the duty of bringing these proceedings to a close. Obviously, the degree ceremonies are amongst the most pleasurable in the university calendar, indeed amongst the most pleasurable in life. As we sit here enjoying the spectacle of pride and relief and occasionally disbelief that people graduating have as they go across this platform, it really is truly fulfilling, especially for the people from the academic staff who worked hard with people in order to try to ensure that they manifest their full potential. The pride, of course, comes from the accomplishment, and people are certainly entitled to that. It comes, too, from successfully having reached the end of a chapter, a crucial chapter in everybody's life, certainly those of us who have the huge benefit of going into higher education. The relief comes from the fact that it is behind you and a great new tomorrow is open. It also comes from the fact that you've managed to get from there to there without actually falling over. This is no mean feat, especially when you observe the footwear of some of the female graduates. I share their sense of relief. I can say, because this is the last congregation of this year, we haven't had a single faller, and despite what threatened to occur, especially with the boys, not even one mortarboard has hit the dirt in the course of this whole series of congregations. So you needn't have worried when you were groping to see where that headgear had gone as you came up here, and I do admire the grace and the gymnastic capability shown by several people in getting across there. One remark I must make, and it is, I sit there observing, as long as nobody believes I go into a sort of catalepsis in these affairs, I count. And what I know is every woman graduate radiates a wonderful smile. And I know it's not only the animal magnetism of Professor Ellis. And the second thing is, 34.7% of all male graduates wink at Professor Ellis when they shake hands. Now that may be animal magnetism, who knows? But it's a delight for everyone here, and I'm certain all the parents and partners and loved ones who observe these ceremonies. All I can say to those people who have graduated today is I hope you've enjoyed your years in Cardiff and in this university. I hope that you feel that the work that you've done here and the qualification that you've earned really will contribute to your own richness of life. And above all, I hope that you will strive to ensure that you fulfill your potential, you apply your talents to the absolute maximum achievable in order to achieve further success yourselves, because you deserve it, and also to subscribe everything you can to the peace and the security and the understanding and the respect for all your fellow human beings. If you do that, and if they get the message, you will make a unique contribution to a better world. I offer everyone here all the best of good fortune, good health, great success. Llongyfarchiadau i bob un. Diolch yn fawr iawn.